If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Hello, House on the Road subscribers and followers. So YouTube has been promoting my older videos when we were in the pop-up camper quite a bit here lately, which means we have a lot of new subscribers who are watching the pop-up camper videos. I've gotten several people who said, I've done a lot of research on doing this lifestyle, and I've decided that the pop-up camper is the best fit for me. And it almost sounds like you're researching to buy a new car. You know, we've done the research and we've looked at the reviews, and in my opinion that this is going to be the best fit for me. Well, there's a few things to this that I want to talk about. First, you're not buying a new car. You're really not. You're changing your lifestyle. And you have to think about it this way. All your life, you've been taught, trained, raised. Everything you know about living is in a house. When you get up in the middle of the night and have to go to the bathroom, you go to the bathroom. Here, it may be a 50-yard walk over to the privy. Of course, the privy is always nasty. And so you're not really getting to use it the way you're accustomed to using the toilet. Or, if there is no privy, you're having to use a can. Or in a stick and brick, when you want to go get a shower, you get up, you get your clothes, you go into the bathroom, and you take a shower. You turn on the water, take a shower. And that's it. Well, here, you got to set everything up. You got to get the water. You got to make sure you got enough water. Remember, we only have 40 gallons if you're going to live out here in the free campsites. So, it's a whole lifestyle change. Second, I have talked a lot about the stages of development, mental and emotional development that you go through when you're living this lifestyle. The first stage is an excitement stage, and everything's great, and everything's new, and you're loving it, and it's always great, and you can overcome some of the obstacles because it's still exciting. Second stage is the denial stage. The denial stage is the stage where you start to think, well, maybe it's not quite as exciting as it was the first 6 months that I was doing this, when everything was exciting and new and happy. And so now you're trying to convince yourself that, okay, yeah, we're still happy, this is going good. Man, it is a lot of work. I got to get up in the middle of the night in a rainstorm to walk 50 yards over to the privy. And yes, that has happened a lot, especially when we're down in Florida. In Florida, I mean, you would have these torrential downpours that would last a couple hours, and then everything be flooded, and you're walking over there, and your shoes would be wet, and it's the middle of the night. So that does happen a lot. The last stage is the acceptance stage. Either you accept that you're going to be living this lifestyle, or you're not. And if you're going to live this lifestyle, then you've become to realize, well, this is life. This is just the way it's going to be, and it's neither good nor bad. It's just life. Just like it is in a stick and brick. You've acclimated. So if you're researching my videos, my pop-up camper videos, and you're in the very beginning stages, you're going to see me in this excitement stage. And so I leave these videos up so you can see this progression of mine. Because if you do enough research, you're going to realize, wow, he was progressing to where he really wasn't liking the pop-up. If you're going to do research, you need to spend, I got 670 videos. That you watch all 670 videos, because you're going to see this progression where everything was exciting, and then was like, whoa, okay, wait a minute, there's the denial stage, and it's not quite exciting, there's some more work to this. And then you start to see the acceptance stage. Because if you really are looking at this lifestyle, and you're really researching, you're going to run into a series of videos where, for example, right about the time where we were starting to get into this acceptance stage, whether we were getting ready to decide if we were going to continue this lifestyle or not, is when someone burned down our pop-up camper. And for us, this was a turning point in our lifestyle. Because I'm beginning to think we were really starting to head towards not accepting this lifestyle. I think if we'd have stayed in the pop-up camper and we'd have gotten into the acceptance or this not acceptance stage, we probably would have just said, you know what, this is tough. And we built this camper, and things got so much easier. The pop-up camper is the most difficult thing you can do to live in. As long as you're living in it, you're not really aware that it's difficult until you get into something it's more solid. Even though I wasn't aware that we were mentally being pulled down by this thing, I recognize now that when we were in it, I really did hate it. Not because it was difficult to live in. It wasn't difficult to live in. It was actually okay. Mentally, there was a lot that was going on that really turned you away from living in a pop-up camper. And it's hard to explain. It's hard to tell you how I emotionally felt about it. But I do know this. Every morning I would get up and I would think, wow, the only thing separating me and whatever is out there is a piece of canvas. Even though we were able to heat it quite well, it was harder to heat. You always have the environment surrounding you. So if it's foggy outside, it's foggy inside. That means all that moisture is in there. I have repeatedly talked about when we were in there how much mold grew in that camper. Mold was always an issue in that camper because it was always moist inside. It was just terrible. And it's hard to clean that mold off the canvas for some reason. If we get a little mold spot in here now, just spray a little vinegar on it, wipes right off. In the pop-up, it didn't wipe right off. It was there, it turned black. You spray vinegar on it, but it wouldn't come off. You'd have to use bleach to get it off. I feel more secure in here. Now everybody's going to say, well, yeah, because bears can't get in. It wasn't the bears that I was exactly worried about. It was the little critters that I think I was more worried about. Now, I recognize mice and things can get into this. But I think the one that I mentally thought about a lot, when I would crawl into my bed in the pop-up camper, I would always wonder if there was a snake in there. We actually got in the habit of kind of looking around, seeing if there were snakes or anything. In this, I don't think snakes are going to be quite the problem, and I just haven't worried about it. It hasn't been something that's just kind of ate at me or gnawed at me, but it did in the pop-up. The point of all this is the research, the things that everybody's telling me. We've done a lot of research, and we've decided that we're going to live in XYZ, pop-up camper. If you're researching my channel and you've decided that a pop-up camper is a good idea, I would say that you're probably going to need to do some more research, because it's not. And I think my videos, if you go through them and you really dig in, you're going to find that it's not a good idea. After the camper burned down, I talked probably for a solid month about how the pop-up camper was not a good idea. Secondly, if you are going to decide, okay, we're going to do this in a pop-up camper, I don't care what Rob says, which is fine, you don't have to listen to me. I would really recommend that you try this out for at least a month. In every season, in the cold, I mean the downright cold, we had to sleep in that thing in 12 degrees. The extreme hot, in the rainy season, when it's just, the water is dripping off that canvas, hitting you in the face at night. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.